despite efforts to quash the rise in food prices, many Canadian shoppers still feel like they're paying a whole lot more for their groceries than they originally expected.
So for a look now at the latest on the Canadian Food Sentiment Index, we're joined by Sylvain Charlebois, Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. Sylvain, thanks so much for joining us again to talk about this. I find it pretty interesting that out of all the kind of expenses or costs Canadians seem to worry about, food is still the #1 thing.
It's still there, absolutely. Even though when you look at the data, things have calmed down. We're looking at a calmer 2025. 2024 actually was not bad. The inflation rate was at about 2.4%. We're expecting a higher rate, 3 to 5% for 2025. But still, people are looking at prices and they're feeling the pain. So perceptions are impacting how we're behaving at the grocery store. And so the things that are becoming way more popular right now, bulk buying, coupons, and people are shopping around. They're not loyal to one store anymore. They're shopping around. They're visiting 2, 3 stores every single week.
Well, they must be listening to you, Professor, because every time you come on, you talk to us about the benefits of really shopping in different places and finding those deals. I'm curious, though, the perception the reality? Because you call this the Food Sentiment Index. It's not the Food Price Check Fact Index here. Are prices, in fact, still kind of in the territory where, you know, it's more expensive than ever, or sort of seemingly going up and up and up?
Yeah, the prices are rising, particularly in the produce section, center of the store as well, where dry goods are, and frozen food products as well. But it's nowhere near double digit. We're thinking about 4 or 5%. The thing is, Nick, well, as soon as you see a 4 or 5%, the problem right now is that the inflation rate is below food inflation. Yeah. So while you're spending in the economy, when you go to a grocery store, it's actually more. So people feel they'll probably feel it's more like 10 or 15% instead of like 5%. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. And Sylvain, when you break down all the perceptions and sentiments, you look at different categories: affordability, quality, security, trust. Given, you know, the face of these Donald Trump tariffs, how do you see this kind of impacting these categories going forward? I know affordability is still the main one, but what about food quality when we've got this kind of pro-Canadian sentiment going on with how we're choosing to shop at the grocery stores?
Yeah, well, lots to unpack there. So affordability remains the #1 issue, but nutrition and quality are 2 factors that are creeping up a little bit compared to 6 months ago. The other thing is the Buy Canadian movement. It is real. People are looking for Canadian products, local products, which actually has given a bit of a trust boost towards the Canadian food industry overall. People are trusting more grocers, independent grocers in particular. So independent grocers out there are really benefiting from this buy local movement. People really want to support local as much as possible, including retailers.
And it's interesting, too, on that buy local, though, Professor, you know, we've talked so much about affordability and people trying to make their dollars go further, but we, in some cases, are spending more on the buy local. It seems counterintuitive to what you and I and Jen have talked about for the last 18 months or so.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that is coming up in our report is the fact that people are spending a little bit more at the restaurant, not necessarily fine dining or casual, but fast food or at a coffee shop in suburbs, especially. Why? Because people are working from home. Canada is the world capital when it comes to working from home. Almost 2 days a week, the average adult with a university degree will work from home. So lots of people want to go out once in a while, meet someone for coffee. And so that is making a difference in terms of spending money on food. They're spending more at the restaurant.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, always a pleasure to chat with you. Sylvain Charlebois, Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.